coming back again to what we see often with the couples, right? That often it's not about, for example, the dishes that they're fighting over.
Right.
It's about them fighting about their own safety within the relationship.
Often I need my own space means, hey, I'm overwhelmed. Or it could also feel like
I need to calm down.
I need to calm down.
I need to regulate. It's just simply a pattern of behaviors or understandings that we've used to kind of navigate our world and especially our relationships with others.
Right.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of The Lighter Side of Heavy Things with myself, Chris Clark, along with my co-host here, Dwayne Horton, two therapists who take some time each week to kind of talk about the lighter side of those heavy topics that we tend to run into with our clients. We've kind of talked about how there's this theme of attachment that keeps coming up recently with a lot of our clients, right?
Yes. Well, we do a lot of couples counseling. We do a lot of family counseling. I mean, attachment is an essential, integral part of all relationships, but also all mental health.
Right. Because people matter, even though we might not want to admit that people matter to us, right?
Well, and kind of what brought it up is like some of the funny sayings that people will tell us, right? Like, and it creates contention in the relationship.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, I'll tell you later, or, I need my own space, or they must not love me.
Right.
They
haven't texted me back yet.
Yeah. Like, maybe they're working.
Yeah.
The logical brain says that, but what's really activated, this is why logic sometimes struggles with things like that, is this because the attachment, right? Is what's being activated in our clients. And that's why for us, it's kind of like, oh yeah, well yeah.
Duh, right?
It's kind of...
Although we don't say that.
No, well, with a few of my clients I may, and it's because I have that relationship with them. They feel safe, right? But things like common sayings that people say, like, I'm not mad.
Yes.
But you look at them and you're like, you're going to stab me in the eye. Right? Like everything about you tells me you're mad, but they won't say it.
Right. Or I'm fine. Right?
Yes.
And I think what's important is when we look at these types of common sayings that we hear our clients say, what's interesting is when we start looking at those through the lens of attachment theory.
Yes.
Right? And what starts to come up, or how do we then begin to translate out of those phrases? What do we get out of them?
Right. And our goal here with this little mini series, or whatever you want to call it, is not to give you tools to diagnose necessarily.
No.
But people need to understand, as clinicians, we can look at a problem from, if our problem was my fist, we could look at it from all the different angles, from different things, and we'd come up with a different conclusion.
Right.
And so our goal here is just to help explain what may come up. And if we don't talk about attachment theory and attachment, then honestly we're failing, and we're looking at a very integral part of, because human beings are not meant to be alone.
No.
Right?
No.
Not at all. And we're meant to work together. And like real weird stuff starts happening in isolation, right?
Right. Really weird stuff. And it's important to understand that when we're talking about attachment, it's not just attachment with couples. It's also attachments with those people who are important to you, right? Parents, family, other your children. And it's important that once we understand what those attachments are, what does that end up meaning? Because we'll get into this in the next episode, but there's a few different attachment styles with those. But what today I think is important is understanding that with your attachment system, when it's going off, right, when the alarm bells are ringing, we like to think of that as a smoke alarm. Right. When your attachment system's going off like that smoke alarm, it's not saying that it's trying to ruin your life. Right? It's just trying to keep you safe.
Right. And that's what the attachment is the, like you said, that alarm bell going off in us. And so when someone says, I'll text you later, it's that uncertainty that comes up, and and our clients will feel it. We've talked about it as through a somatic somatic lens. They'll experience it in their body.
Yep.
But it's such a powerful tool, like you said, it's beyond just romantic relationships or parent-child relationships. It's and even familial relationships. It goes into your boss, how you interact with bosses, or your coworkers, your peers, your friends. It can be triggered by a number of things, and understanding what triggers it will also help settle it. So that's like turning off a smoke alarm, right? Because ironically, like this week, we've had 2 smoke alarms go off in the middle of the night this week, and I think they're just aged out, and so I've had to go unplug them because switching out the batteries is normally what you do to fix it, right? Diagnosing it was like, oh crap, now I just got to replace it. So I'll buy a replacement, put it in, and it works just fine.
Right.
Similarly, once we understand why the alarm's going off, we could settle our system back down, and things will be great. And we can connect more effectively with people.
Right. And what's important, I mean, we kind of talked about this a little bit already, but a lot of our attachments or the ways that we come to understand how we attach with one another often begins primarily between our attachments with our parents, right? Especially mom. That's a big one.
Right.
And it's not to say that what we experience then is going to, that whatever our experience is as a child, that's going to be what it is forever. We're, what I find interesting about the attachment theory is that it's very malleable.
Yes.
Right. You can switch between attachment styles, and they do talk about how that does end up happening. But growing up, depending on what we were primed for, that might lead to our earlier relationships in life, going one direction or another, and how we attach with others.
And that's why we use a lot of different models of thinking. Because if we're always only looking from one side, we might not recognize of my fist. We might not recognize that there's a big gaping hole on the other side.
Right.
Right? So being able to understand what's happening to us, to our clients, to our systems, even to us. I mean, we talked a little bit ironically about it last time too, and we'll talk more about it. But what activates our attachment is when our connections feel threatened.
Right. And
then the nervous system sends off alarm bells.
Yeah,
right?
It starts going crazy. Right. And what's really interesting is there was a study done, was it by Mary Ainsworth, where
the strange situation?
Yes. Where
and this is a foundational study for those who don't know.
Yes.
Like Bowlby, Mary Ainsworth, these are the foundational figures in like 70s.
Yep.
60s, 70s, 80s about talking about attachment. So,
and what they did, and we'll break down the experiment very, very briefly. This isn't going to have everything that went into it, but these are some of the key takeaways that happened, right? That basically in this situation, they brought in young infant to toddlers in with their mother, and they brought them into this room. There were toys, those sorts of things, and they kind of observed to see what the child would do or how the child would react, and kind of was able to see what their attachment style was. And so what they saw, is that when when you had a secure attached child come in, they would come in to play. They would kind of check in, make sure, Mom, we're good, okay, cool, and they would play. The anxious attachment type of kid, they often wanted Mom to be closer to them, to be sometimes even engaged with Mom. The avoidant attached child, they just kind of went in, see you later, Mom, right? And just went to it. Now, what they did is after several minutes, they would have Mom leave. And they would then see how the child reacted. Now, the secured attached child, they would, oftentimes get upset. And same with the anxious child. They would also get upset, the crying, the things you would expect from a little kid who's missing their parent. The avoidant child, they might get a little bit upset, but they often didn't show it, right? They would notice sometimes that Mom was gone, but they just kind of carried on. Or sometimes they didn't even look up to see that Mom had gone at all.
Right.
But the anxious kids, they picked up on that really quick, that Mom's gone or Mom's out. And then they would bring mom back in. And what was very interesting is the secured attached child, they would go up to mom, they would, let mom hug them or whatnot. Mom would say, hey, it's okay, I'm here again, we're good. And what was interesting, secured attached child, they would get down, okay, and go play again, right? They would be fine after mom assured them that they're okay. Anxious attached child, they would get upset even though mom would try to soothe them. They would still be kind of upset. They might even start hitting mom, lashing out in a physical way, right? And it took a lot more for that child to get calmed down.
Yes.
The avoidant child, what was interesting is mom would come back in and the avoidant kid would notice mom is back and mom would try to engage with the kid, but the kid would kind of get away from mom, right? Avoid her. And what's interesting is what does that then mean when it comes to people as they got older and they carried on those attachment styles?
Right. And like you said, those three categories, while they were definitely measurable then as youth, but the follow-up studies, a decade or more later, did not show a lot of correlational facts that those attachment styles were consistent.
Right.
However, they did notice that there was definite attachment styles still present with people, right? And that's the important part here. So while we might have been anxious as a kid, actually, I think I was telling you this yesterday or something. I was thinking, when I was looking at the measures that, the test for attachment styles, I was like, if I answered this as a kid, I would definitely have been an anxious attacher. 100%. Like, there's no question in my mind I was an anxious attacher. But as an adult, I'm like, nah, I'm definitely secure. Right? It's like, it's just me. Because I've learned to deal with things, right? And that's the important part. So kind of what does it look like? Well, we told that story last week, I believe, the last episode.
Right.
About that funny interaction that happened. And just to kind of a recap of what that looked like was, I called you late one night about, I don't even remember what it was about, something. And then we brought up another subject with the other company we're working on, right?
Right.
And you were explaining, like, wait, those videos and pictures are up there already? And I was like, yeah, I did that forever ago. And you're like, I don't remember that. I said, no, they've been up there. And you're like, anyways, it came to a conclusion. I was like, yeah, it's just we miscommunicated. Okay, let's move forward, right?
Right.
And then the next morning you brought it up again, and I was like, wait, what? I thought we were done with this one. Like, I wasn't angry, but I was like, wait, what's going on?
Right.
And you wanted to explain yourself, right? Am I taking things out of perspective?
No, yeah. I mean, it was just, I had followed up with you just to be like, hey, so with this, are we good with that?
Oh, right.
That was pretty much just me kind of doing a quick check-in to just make sure, like, that it was good. I can't even remember what the project was that we were working on, but it was basically like, just is there anything more that I might have missed? No, we're good. Okay, right. And that was for me checking in to make sure, but it brought up for you, right?
Yeah.
Wait, is there something I missed?
Right. So because then we were trying to start working on another project, and my mind would not stop it because I kept coming back. I was like, well, if he brought this up, it must have been important to him. And I noticed that in my body, right? My body and my brain was telling, hey, wait, something's wrong here. I noticed the old anxieties I used to get when I would share my opinion with people. And it comes up still. Like, I know I'm intense and, I'm very direct. I don't waste a lot of time. And so sometimes that can come off as like, I don't care. And that was kind of what was like, wait, does he think I don't care? So I had to stop our conversation and say, wait a second, are you good? I just got to stop this because my brain and my body recognized something was off inside of me. And that's what we would call an attachment, right? That's the alarm bell going off saying, hey, something was wrong. And so I was just like, hey, are you good? And you're like, yeah. Okay, good. And then I could go on without thinking about it anymore.
Right. Just like as they saw in the Mary Ainsworth study, right? That for the kid with secured attachment, alarm bells went off. But once, whoever they're attached to is able to basically be like, hey, we're good. They were able to say, oh, okay, and keep on going.
Right. And that's how it goes. So attachments are everywhere. Like even we're definitely not lovers, right?
Right. Right.
We're very good friends. We're coworkers. We have a lot of fun together.
Uh-huh.
But even there, how we connect to people, the attachment is still going to be testing the waters,
Yes.
seeing if there's smoke.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something to be alarmed. And if we can pay attention to what that means, then we can understand it. So kind of going back to some of those comments, like, let's translate what they mean for people, right? This is why we can laugh when we're in therapy, right?
Right.
So like, they haven't texted me back. What does that mean?
Yeah. For someone who, if their attachment's activated, that, oh, they don't care about me.
Right. And so as therapists, we're like, you see couples on the couch and you're like, well, he didn't text me back for like 6 hours. And he's like, I'm just using it as a case example, right? And he might be like, well, yeah, because I'm at work. I had meetings, I had projects, I had no cell service. Maybe I was a pilot. Like, of course I didn't text you back. I was flying.
Right.
Right? Like all these things. And he's like, duh. But she's upset about it. He's like, well, what do you want me to do? Because now they're in this cycle of fighting over, you didn't text me back. Right.
And what's interesting is they get hung up on that, but that's not even the core issue.
The core issue is she feels like she doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And if he could understand that and talk about that issue, right? Then it's like, oh, you think I don't care about you when that happens? Well, then how can we do it? Right? I heard a story that, I think it was in one of the books we've read that said, one partner said, I can send you like a pre-made text that says, hey, thinking about you.
Yeah.
And that settled the system, something simple. Because now they're talking about what the real issue is, the attachment, right?
Right. And it's important to understand, too, that for a lot of people, they often don't recognize that their attachment's going off, right? And so they get stuck on the wrong issue or on the wrong thing.
Right. And some of this will make a lot of sense next time we talk about the dynamics of the different types of attachment styles. But even like a comment like, I need my own space.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, that one's, depending on how the attachment style combination goes, often I need my own space means, hey, I'm overwhelmed. Or it could also feel like,
I need to calm down.
I need to calm down.
I need to regulate.
And it could also be, I feel like I'm a burden. And so if I have my space, I'm not burdening you. Right?
Right.
That I need my own space. A simple comment could go 1,000 different directions.
Right.
And so understanding how the attachment's being activated is essential to know how to handle it. Or like, I'm not good enough to be around people.
Right.
And that one just popped in my head too. These messages, like you're overreacting, right?
Yeah. You're mad.
You're mad.
Yeah, we start assuming the emotion.
Right.
And yeah, and to there we're just, perhaps communicating that I don't understand what's going on for you.
Right. And it can also be like, it's fine. This was one early on in my marriage, was that one, like, I hate the word sure. Because I'm like, is that a yes?
Or is that a no?
Is that a no, but don't want to say no, so it's a sure. And I had to have a conversation with Sarah, like, what does that mean? And I hate that word. And Sarah's the most amazing person ever. And she's like, it means sure. And I'm like, oh, okay. So it's not like a hidden message in the bottle. It's just, oh, okay. So she's answering yes. I'll take that as yes.
Yes.
And so when my attachment system would react to that word, I now had to own my reaction system and settle it down. Say, hey, there's no fire here.
Right.
Everything's okay.
Right. And, it's coming back again to what we see often with the couples, right? That often it's not about, for example, the dishes that they're fighting over.
Right.
It's about them fighting about their own safety within the relationship.
Oh, that's a good word for attachment, is safety. Right? It's about wanting to return to safety. Again, the alarm bell, right?
Right.
It's like, do I matter? Why do I have to hold everything together? Right.
And so it's important to understand when it comes to attachments, it's not a weakness, it's not a dysfunction. It's just simply a pattern of behaviors or understandings that we've used to kind of navigate our world and especially our relationships with others.
Right. It's not clinical. It's not, like you said, pathology. All it is it's our system going off. And if we can understand that, and that brings in the old word that my clients probably hate, but that word of curiosity. Mm-hmm. If we can understand, well, why is the alarm bell, and go curious about it, instead of going in full-fledged panic mode, but just be curious about it.
Right.
Then we could maybe start talking about the problem. Like you said, it's not the dishes. The problem is I feel lonely.
Right.
Or I feel overwhelmed. Or like what I'm doing doesn't matter to you.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it might be is I just really want to spend time with you while we do dishes.
Yeah. And I think this next time,
mm-hmm.
when we talk more about the attachment styles, this is going to make a lot more sense. Right.
Well, yes, and we'll get in more depth about it. Yeah, absolutely.
And so I think that this is a good opportunity to be able to kind of lay the groundwork for where we're going with this, mm-hmm. right? That attachments are very important, but also being able to understand what your attachment is and how that affects others is going to make a big difference for you.
Right.
So, we hope you join us next time
mm-hmm.
as we talk about this a little bit more in depth. And we appreciate you guys checking in with us.
Yeah.
Leave a comment if you have questions about attachments.
Yeah. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook.
Yep.
YouTube. I got that loaded up. I haven't posted on it yet. I think I loaded on the old one, but I'll eventually get things migrated over there.
Yeah.
But yes.
So we'll see you guys next time on the lighter side of heavy things.